In this video, I'll perform a series of edits to this image that are directly altering the pixels. These include things like applying adjustments and filters and using the brush engine tools. Collectively, these techniques are called destructive edits because they irrevocably alter the original data. Open the Bologna JPEG and then go up to the Image menu and choose Adjustments, Brightness Contrast. Let's increase the brightness somewhat and decrease the contrast. The next thing I'd like to attend to is the noise, which you can see here in the brick especially. This is inherent in the JPEG. Go to the Filter menu and choose Noise, Reduce Noise. We can choose to remove the JPEG artifact by checking this box. Right now I'm going to increase strength to 10 and make sure these other sliders are on the left end. This shows us what this algorithm is doing. It's blurring the image and removing the fluctuations of color and luminosity that are known as noise. We can preserve some of the details in the image by dragging this slider over. We don't want to go too far, or we essentially are not reducing the noise at all. So we're going to maybe have this be about 15%. We can also reduce the color noise in addition to the luminosity noise. And then we can sharpen the details of what we have here. And it looks better. Now let's verify this by dragging the dialog box out of the way and then unchecking preview so we can see before and after. It looks a little bit cleaned up. That's a good thing. I'll click OK. Now the next thing I can do is sharpen these signs and maybe some of the building to draw your eye to these areas of contrast. We can use the Sharpen tool, which is located right here. I'll increase the strength to 100% by dragging on the word strength to the right. And then I'll paint over these signs, and that sharpens each one and makes them stand out a little more. I'll also sharpen these archways just by dragging across all of them. And I'll also sharpen the tower. So this makes the image stand out more because we have more contrast along some of the edges. The sky is more or less opaque, and so it would be better if we were to bring out some of the color that might be in the sky. You can do that down here with the Sponge tool. Use Saturate mode and increase the flow to 100%. You can adjust the brush size using the square bracket keys. Paint over the sky and you'll bring out some of the blue that's there. Although it's kind of a losing battle here because the sky is mostly clouds and there's just a little blue there that we can bring out. We could also darken the sky, and we can do that here with the Burn tool. Burn and dodge are opposites. Burn darkens and dodge lightens. I'll use burn with an exposure set to 50%, and we'll select the highlights because we want to darken the sky, which is bright. Then I'll go ahead and paint over the sky, and I'll just go right over the tower too. And this will darken it somewhat. Then I'll go to the Dodge tool, and this time select midtones for the tower itself and paint over the tower to brighten it back up. Finally, I'd like to blur out some of the people down here in the foreground. To do that, use the Blur tool and set strength to 50% and paint over the people here in the midground. And then increase strength to 100% and paint over the people in the foreground. And while you're at it, paint over the curb so that we can create a depth of field effect that draws the eye straight to the building, so you don't focus on these pedestrians. So there you have it, a sequence of techniques that directly alter the pixel data, collectively known as destructive edits.